What is up, my fellow Chiebits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you another anime review of Grimgar Episode 2. The second week of Winter of Anime 2016. I just cannot believe it. Oh my god, I just cannot believe it is the second damn week. We already got the second episode of Grimgar, the second episode of Dimension W, and, you know, a variety of some other series that just are not popping in my head right now. But so many series are already getting their episode 2s. Can you believe that? How fast time just fucking flies? So, Grimgar Episode 2. The pacing of this episode, I know, is going to probably divide the community or the fan base of this series. Depending on what type of watcher you are and what you expect out of this series, this is probably going to be one of those episodes that are going to either A, make you drop the series, or B, confirm that you want to continue watching this series. Now, you could be in the middle. You could be like, I'm indifferent to the entire episode, and I'm just going to see how the third episode is if I want to drop it or not. But I could see where this episode is a very good central point for many to either drop the series or continue watching because of one reason alone, and that would be the pacing. See, the pacing in this series is very slow. I can't even begin to deny that. I won't deny that. But does that mean it's bad? No. No, it doesn't. It really comes down to what they do with the said pacing, if it is slow, if it's, you know, good or not. Now, also comes down to your subjective taste of pacing as well. But when it comes to this episode, you can split it up into two segments. For the first part of the episode, you have the fight with the goblin. And then the second half of the episode, we have a slow-paced slice-of-life moment with a, like, montage song playing over, and really no talking at all. And then we have, like, some form of comedy scene that needs to be inserted in most series nowadays, with a supposed, let's peek on the girls in the bath scene, which I'll get into that in a moment. So the episode is very simple, very simplistic foundation for this episode. Like, I mean, to dive into it, there really isn't anything that really needs to be decoded, broke apart, and like, holy shit, this is crazy. Nothing like that really needs to be done when it comes to this episode. But what I will say is, when it came to the atmosphere that the first half of the episode gave off, especially with the goblin being hunted down, it felt realistic in a way. Now, not completely realistic, because this is an anime at the end of the day, and also, I mean, it's a fucking goblin they're trying to kill, and just, you know, hear me out, okay? It felt realistic in the way the characters interacted with each other, especially when it came to them realizing what they were doing. And it was so different from the norm of what you see from these type of anime series, like an MMORPG type setting or something, or a fantasy world like this. It's very different, because normally, when you see creatures getting killed, the main male character or the main characters don't stop to think about the situation, because we had all our characters in this episode thinking about it. Like, they were hunting down this goblin, they were cutting it and all that, and then they were fighting it and trying to hold it back and all that, and our main male character took a fucking dagger into the damn shoulder blade. But in the fight, they were thinking about, this is something we're trying to kill. It's fighting for its survival just like we are. It's like this. I mean, you throw two people into an arena, you give both of them a damn sword, okay? And you have this dude, like the leader outside of the Coliseum or whatever, he yells at them like, "My gladiators, fight to the death. The first person to, you know, survive this. Like, if you survive this entire battle, you get to go home free. But the other one, well, of course, he's dead." So, it's kind of similar to that in a way. They're fighting for their survival, kind of like survival of the fittest. That's exactly the best way to summarize that moment. When our characters are interacting, they're realizing they're killing a creature that wants to live and wants to fight on, doing anything in its power to live. It was a very emotional scene in certain ways, just because of the way the atmosphere was carrying it. It wasn't really the overall characters in general, but it was the way that I think the director displayed the inner monologues to what the characters were thinking was what really made the scene. It wasn't that the characters were interesting or anything brand new, it was just the way the directing part of the episode was done. So, my hat's off to the director, whoever directed this episode, and managed to put something like that in with the atmosphere, to the way the camera angles were, with the characters thinking about it. It really added a different type of viewpoint on this type of genre of anime, which has been increasingly kind of the same every single season. Now, one thing though, besides that, when it came to the second half of the episode, this is where, like I said, the controversial part of the, you know, episode's gonna come into, because many are gonna, either drop it or probably, you know, continue watching because of the second half, and mainly because of the first half. If the first half interested you enough, maybe you might stick around, but I could see where many might be put off from the second half of the episode just because of what it was really about. See, when people think about the series, they think about maybe like an action series. Let's go on an adventure, let's go kill some fucking goblins, let's go kill some damn dragons, stuff like that. that. That's what majority of people think about when they see a series like this. But majority of the second half wasn't like that. It was kind of giving characterization to the characters in a silent way. When you had this montage of music playing, and you just hear this, like, cover song playing, you see the characters not really saying nothing, but you just see them going about their daily lives, and seeing how some are just, you know, making, like, a wooden airplane, to some was just cleaning their sword, or some was just, you know, looking for clothing, or getting a hairpin, seeing, like, romantic relationship building up in the background, and another girl getting jealous. I mean, there was just so much going on in that scene that many might take it for granted. I mean, that's where it comes into being subjective in terms of your taste of pacing, because I felt like sometimes scenes that are very quiet, which technically it wasn't quiet because there was a song, but scenes that really don't have words could really carry a lot of weight, depending on how it is directed. And the way it was done, I feel like, couldn't have been any better. Really, it was a really good scene, just because it gives so much characterization for these characters without even saying a word. It was allowing us, as the viewer, to use our brain, or our imagination, or just our own thoughts, to come up with what scenario our characters were doing in this given moment. So yes, my hat's off to this episode of Grimgar for being very enjoyable, and even though it is not the best, of course not, it's not the best, it was still very fun. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or nights wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.